Okay, now continuing on with the education application, let's look at the enhanced pattern recognition, right? So these are the mathematical patterns which are in nature and in sacred, geometry. So let's look at another Bhagavatam quote. It's again on Canto 2, chapter 5, and the verse 15, right? It says, quote, the subtle subject matter of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The subtle subject matter of creation, maintenance, and destruction becomes manifest through sound vibration and systematic calculation. This reveals the ancient understanding that mathematical patterns aren't arbitrary. They reflect the fundamental structure of reality itself, right? Let's look at another quote from the Mundaka Upanishad, right? From him are born breath, mind, all senses, space, air, fire, water, and earth, which supports all. This describes, again, pattern recognition as understanding the unified source from which all mathematical relationship emerge. Right. We talked earlier about the golden ratio, right? And the golden ratio, which is 1.618, was used in ancient temple designs 3,000 years before the Western discovery. Let's look at the Fibonacci sequence. Again, we had talked briefly about the before. So watch how this emerges naturally. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So each number is a sum of the two preceding numbers. So if you look at 2, the two preceding numbers is 1 and 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. You look at 3, the two preceding numbers are 2 and 1. So it's 1 plus 2 is 3. You look at 5, it's 3 plus 2. You look at 8, it's 5 plus 3, right? So as we progress, the ratio between consecutive numbers approaches the golden ratio, right? So today, let's also start to look at different modern, applications from a validation perspective, right? So let's look at the iPhone design and using golden ratio proportions for aesthetic appeal, right? That's in the iPhone design. The DNA structure following the Fibonacci patterns in its helical structure. And actually, on the back, you also see a picture of it on our background there. Stock analysis, another good example. So market patterns, right, following natural mathematical sequences. And I've talked a few times about the AI algorithms, right, using pattern recognition principles first described in ancient texts. Ancient temple architecture with golden, ratio proportions, precise astronomical calculations, and using geometrical principles. So these were prevalent when you look at the old temple architecture, right? So the mathematical calculations like golden ratio and the geometric accuracies were all visible, right? Modern, and also natural pattern recognition. So now let's look at the modern research validation, right? So if you look at shows that there aren't any spiritual symbols. They are basically mathematical relationships um, that modern technology depends on, right? So if you look at biometrics, engineering inspired by natural patterns. If you look at the fractal mathematics, again, self similar patterns which are in nature. And then machine learning, right? AI, the machine learning, ML, ancient classification methods is very prevalent there. So the truth is that ancient pattern recognition methods often outperform, modern approaches because they work with the fundamental patterns of nature rather than against them. Moving on, let's look at, again, staying in education, the holistic mathematical learning, which is present. So the integrated development of mind, body, and spirit, right? So let's look at another ancient, Bhagavatam quote here, which is Canto 7, Chapter 12, and verse 1. A student should practice completely controlling his senses and should have an attitude of service towards his spiritual master, right? Again, those of you who follow yoga as part of the ancient scriptures, this is something which you know is always which is taught in the fundamental yoga system. Um, and then let's look at another Upanishad quote, the Taittiriya Upanishad, 1.11.1, which says that speak the truth, practice dharma, do not neglect study. So do not neglect, teaching. So uh, if you start to look at like, the picture here, right? So you have the math in the center, right? And then you see all of the other areas which is around it, right? Which is architecture connected to math, in meditation, ethics, astronomy, philosophy, music, right? So this wasn't just about mathematical education, right? It is about developing the complete human being, okay, as kind of demonstrated in the circular diagram here. So students in the Gurukul system, they learned mathematics through philosophy, which is understanding, the why uh, behind mathematical principles, astronomy, applying mathematics to cosmic calculations, music, discovering mathematical relationship in harmony and rhythm, architecture, implementing geometric principles in physical structures, ethics, understanding, um, you know, understanding mathematics as part of moral development, uh, meditation, developing, the focused mind necessary for mathematical insight, right? Um, so let's look at a different, traditional approach treats mathematics as, right? So how the traditional typical approach treats mathematics as. So, isolated subject with no connection to other areas, memorization focus without deeper understanding, competition based learning that creates anxiety, single intelligence assumption, one size fits all, right? That's typically the traditional approach. Whereas the holistic approach recognizes integrated learning where mathematics connects to everything, understanding focus that builds genuine comprehension, collaboration based learning that reduces stress, um, multiple intelligences, different ways of understanding mathematics. The results speaks for themselves, right? 23% better performance when mindfulness is integrated, 60% superior results, using holistic approaches, also mentioned in the Finland model. 45% deeper understanding when subjects are connected. So that's the what we call as the integration, as shown above too. Um, so if you start to look at the integrated learning, different examples is the geometry through temple architecture. So structure, students learn geometric principles by studying ancient buildings. Algebra through musical scales, mathematical relationship become tangible through sound. Calculus through cosmic cycles, understanding change through natural patterns. Finland, global success story, if you want to look at it. So if you look at Finland, the world's considered as world's best education system. They use this integrated approach to learning. Howard Gardner, multiple intelligence theory validates ancient understanding, and mindfulness, the improved mathematical performance through competitive practices, right? Um, this holistic approach doesn't just create better mathematics, it develops complete human beings who understand mathematics as part of the larger fabric of existence.